Happy New Year, Patrick. There's a lot to be excited for in 2025. I know you're going to discuss some potential directions the community could take during the first community call of the year this coming Tuesday, January 7th. The link to that call will be in this newsletter. But I think it's a good time to reflect a little bit on different aspects of what Odyssey did in 2024 and kind of use that as a foundation for where we might go over the next 12 months. So I'm going to give you a couple of different categories, areas, and maybe you can reflect on where you thought the community came. And let's just start with some open science collaborations that the community had this past year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Craig. I think as we think about our community, collaboration is really at the heart of what we are trying to do. In 2024, we saw a lot of great opportunities for our community to get together, and it's exciting to see that we now have over 4,200 collaborators as part of the Odyssey community. But really that comes to fruition when we see our in-person events where so many folks from industry, government, academia, from all around the world get together, whether it be at our Odyssey Europe Symposium held in Rotterdam, whether it be at our Odyssey India Symposium, our first time having an event there, our Global Symposium where we had over 450 individuals coming together in the U.S., or all the way into December when we had our Odyssey APAC Symposium in Singapore. At each of these events, it was a great time to see the true spirit of open science taking place, with researchers sharing their work and forging new collaborations together as one community.
Always a big part of Odyssey work is around community data standards, and certainly a lot of discussion this year about the Odyssey Evidence Network. Where did we come in 2024?
So the OMOP Common Data Model has really become the most widely adopted open community data standard for real-world data around the world. And in 2024, we really saw that adoption increase. We saw the maturity of its use around the world, particularly in celebrating the completion of the first phase of the Eden project, seeing over 200 databases across Europe all using one common data standard is an amazing achievement. But I think looking back at 2024, seeing us take that next step to maturity through the Odyssey Evidence Network and seeing data partners recognizing that it's not just enough to use the data standard, it's also about making sure that we're applying data quality and data standard conventions in a consistent way, and also sharing information about these data sources so that we can start translating this data into reliable evidence. And so I hope to see in 2025 much more effort towards more data partners participating in the Odyssey Evidence Network and engaging in not just data standards, but the evidence generation process itself.
There's always a lot of work around open source development. I know the community has seen some new maintainers come aboard, some new tools. Can you discuss kind of where we are in open source development?
Yeah, the maturity of our standardized analytics suite has really taken shape. And in 2024, we saw really an explosion in the use of our standardized analytic tools. Just in the Hades packages that are available on our CRAN, we've seen over 800,000 downloads over the years. And that includes a robust set of tools to facilitate characterization, population level estimation, and patient level prediction, as well as this year seeing the arrival of Strategos 1.0, really providing us a comprehensive workflow for enabling large-scale analytics across our distributed data network. What I think is really exciting to see happen in 2024 is that the maturity of these tools are making it possible for researchers around the world to be able to conduct analyses on their own data directly, but also to, in a much more easier fashion, be able to participate in international network studies, which is really getting us closer to our real goal, which is about evidence generation.
Yeah, and that was going to be the last thing I asked about. I mean, really, as you said, all that we're doing, all of this work is towards that mission of generating evidence. So what did you see over the last year?
Yeah, I'm proud of what we've seen as a community in terms of rallying researchers around the idea that the network of data we have and the standardized tools that we've developed is really just a means to an end, which is generating reliable evidence and figuring out a way to disseminate it and get the hands of decision makers and the patients that we serve. I think in 2024, we saw great demonstrations at the Global Symposium from Legend Type 2 Diabetes, but also saw network studies conducted in response to real questions. Really excited to see the work that was led in terms of addressing an open question about the safety of semaglutide, first in thinking about a rare eye condition that was published NAON that our team took to bear, and then also at the OHDSI APAC Symposium, seeing work thinking about an open question around acute liver injury. But as much progress as we made in certain areas, it's still clear that there's a lot more questions to be answered across a range of different therapeutic areas. Our oncology work group under Asia Golazar's leadership is doing great work to think about how we can mature an oncology network, but we still have thousands of open questions about effective treatments for various cancers that need to be answered that our community is really well equipped to do. There's still a lot more questions in the area of cardiology and metabolic disease, and we've heard a call to action from Harlan Krumholtz and the JACC editorial board about the opportunities for us to generate real-world evidence and get it out in the hands of that community. We've seen from our eye care and vision research group that there's a wealth of questions around eye care that still need to be answered. And I think every therapeutic area, every clinical subspecialty, there's still huge numbers of questions that remain unanswered. And I really hope in 2025, we're going to be able to rally the entire OHDSI community around delivering that evidence so that patients can get the information they deserve.
I know that'll be the heart of the discussion on Tuesday, the first of our weekly community calls. I hope everybody continues to join those. We've had great attendance, a lot of interesting presentations over the few years, and looking forward to more coming in 2025. Again, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to our entire OHDSI community, and we look forward to what's coming up over the next 12 months. Thanks for joining, Patrick.
Thanks, Craig. Happy New Year. Science!